Right now, somewhere between Brisbane and the back of Bourke, there's a bloke doing 110 down the highway in a brand new Ford Ranger, sunlight bouncing off the bonnet, 2 kids in the back seat, caravan hitched up behind him. He signed the papers on this thing 8 months ago because Ford's mob told him it was the toughest ute they'd ever built. And any second now, no warning light, no beep, no cough, his engine could just quit, not slow down, not misfire, quit. On the highway, with a van on the back. Look, I'm not being dramatic. That's straight out of the recall notice Ford Australia filed with the Department of Infrastructure back in May 2025. 13,490 Rangers and Everests, all fitted with the same 3.0-liter Lion turbo diesel V6, all at risk of losing motive power without a whisper of warning. And here's the thing that keeps me up at night. Ford isn't alone in this. Nowhere near it. Right now, as you're watching me, there is a slow-motion recall wave rolling straight across every turbo engine sold in Australia. Toyota, Isuzu, Hyundai, Kia, Ford, the 4 biggest nameplates on our roads, all tangled up in it. And by the time we're done here, I reckon you're going to be checking your own driveway. Before we get into it though, do me one favor, smash that like button and hit subscribe if you drive anything with a turbo under the bonnet. Because what I'm about to show you might just save your engine, or a lot worse. Grab a cuppa. This one's a doozy. Let's start with the Ford story, because it's the freshest wound. That 3.0-liter Lion V6, it's the engine Ford built the whole Ranger and Everest empire around. 247 horses, 600 Newton-meters of torque, and enough grunt to drag 3.5 tons of caravan up the Great Dividing Range without breaking a sweat. Tradies swear by it. Grey nomads reckon it's the second coming. And in 2023 and 2024, Ford flogged 125,149 Rangers in this country, plus another 41,565 Everests, the best-selling vehicle in Australia, 2 years running. So imagine you're one of those owners. You've done everything right. Logbook servicing at the dealer, genuine oil, the whole 9 yards. And then Ford drops a letter in your mailbox saying your left-hand camshaft sprocket might, fracture. For anyone who doesn't speak engine, the camshaft sprocket is what keeps the top half of your engine in sync with the bottom half. When that sprocket lets go, the whole timing show falls apart. Valves start smashing into pistons, metal shrapnel gets flung through the oil galleries, and the engine doesn't just stop, it eats itself alive. Ford's own wording in the notice: a sudden loss of motive power whilst driving increases the risk of an accident, which may result in serious injury or death to vehicle occupants and other road users. Death. Manufacturers don't throw that word around lightly, ever. So how did we end up here? Well, the Lion V6 is a clever bit of kit. Wet belt setup, twin overhead cams, all the modern efficiency tricks in the book. Somewhere in the manufacturing chain, though, a defect crept into that sprocket. Ford still hasn't come clean on which plant, which shift, which batch. And now, every Ranger and Everest built between 2022 and 2025 with this engine is queued up at dealers around the country waiting for inspection. Here's the kicker: the exact same 3.0 V6 sold in Rangers overseas, South Africa, the States, hasn't been officially recalled, just us. Either we copped the dodgy batch, or we're the canary going down the mine shaft first. Now if you're sitting there smug, thinking, well, thank God I bought an Isuzu, mate, I've got bad news. Isuzu is worse. A lot worse. In September 2025, Isuzu Ute Australia recalled, hang on to your akubra, 149,049 vehicles. D-Max Utes and MU-X wagons, everything they built between 2020 and 2024. That's more than 10 times the size of the Ford recall. The problem this time isn't mechanical, it's software. The engine control module, the little computer running the show under your bonnet, has a bug that, and I'm quoting the recall notice word for word, may incorrectly reduce the engine speed, which is a very polished way of saying your D-Max can just decide to stall on you mid-drive. Same nightmare, same lethal warning language. This time in the second best-selling ute in the country. Now, to give credit where it's due, Isuzu is fixing it for free. Reflash the ECM, 10 minutes at the dealer, off you go. But think about the logistics for a second. 150 grand of D-Maxes, every single one has to physically show up in a country the size of Europe, where a decent chunk of that fleet lives on cattle stations 300 kilometers from the nearest bitumen road. There are people out there, right now, driving affected D-Maxes who have no clue. Letter went to the old address. Second-hand buyer never got on the register. Rural mail hasn't turned up in a fortnight. And their engine could pack it in at any moment. That silent gap between there's a recall and the owner actually knows. That's the scariest part of the whole modern car business. Right, Toyota. You knew we were getting here. The unbreakable HiLux, built to take on Australia's toughest terrain. That's been the ad line for a decade, and it's mostly earned. Except, and I promise I'm not making this up, the High Court of Australia has now formally ruled that Toyota sold roughly 264,000 HiLux, Prado, and Fortuner utes and wagons between October 2015 and April 2020 with a genuinely defective turbo diesel setup. The 2.8-liter 1 GD FTV and the 2.4-liter 2 GD FTV, the two workhorses of the Toyota diesel lineup. Now, technically, this one isn't a safety recall. Toyota fought very hard to keep it out of that box. The case revolves around the diesel particulate filter, the DPF, the bit that traps the soot from your exhaust and burns it off. An independent referee appointed by the federal court found that Toyota's DPF system on those engines was never really designed to work in Australian conditions. Short trips to the shops, stop-start suburban driving, the stuff most tradies actually do with these things Monday to Friday. Result? Clogged filters, white smoke pouring out the back on the freeway, utes going into limp mode with a fridge full of concrete in the tray, owners going back to the dealer 3, 4, 5 times, some getting bought back, some getting new engines, most getting told she'll be right, mate. Toyota fought this to the top, lost. The High Court sided with the owners, and now Toyota's staring down a potential payout north of $2.7 billion. That's more than some ASX-listed miners turn over in a year. And just to twist the knife, in late 2025, Toyota in Australia issued a fresh recall on 2025 and 2026 model year HiLuxes. Power steering wire harness fault when a Toyota genuine bull bar is fitted. Another 390 utes. So even the brand new ones off the boat aren't safe from a letter in the mailbox. Quick pause here. If this is opening your eyes at all, do us a solid and drop a like on the video. It genuinely helps this get in front of the mates who need to hear it. Now let's keep going, because the sleeper story is next. Hyundai and Kia. These two share engines, same platform, same power plants, same problems, and right now there's a proper class action lodged in federal court naming the Theta II GDI turbo, the Gamma GDI, and the Nu GDI engines across dozens of models sold here since 2011. We're talking the 2.0-liter G4KH turbo you'll find in some Sonatas, Santa Fe's, Tucsons, Velustas, and Optimas, the 1.6-liter G4FJ turbo in Konas and Cerato GTs. In the States, the exact same engines have already forced Hyundai and Kia to cough up more than $750 million in settlements and penalties. The symptoms are chilling and boringly familiar. Metallic knocking noise from cold, sudden loss of power on the freeway, and in the worst cases, engine fires. The Australian lead plaintiff in one of these actions had her Hyundai catch fire in her own garage 20 minutes after she parked it. She and her family only made it out because they smelled the smoke drifting into the house. The class action is estimated to potentially cover up to 500,000 Australian owners. 500,000. Let that number sit for a second. All right, let's zoom out. Ford, 13,490 utes and SUVs. Isuzu, 149,049 utes and SUVs. Toyota, 264,000 in the class action, plus another 13,190 in the fresh HiLux recall. Hyundai and Kia, potentially 500,000. That's roughly 900,000 vehicles caught up in something in a country of 26 million people, which means 1 in every dozen turbo-powered rides on Australian roads is sitting on some kind of active recall, class action, or extended warranty campaign. Here's what nobody at the dealership wants to say out loud. The modern turbo engine is being asked to do the impossible. Small displacement, massive boost, direct injection, emissions gear tuned for European commutes, not Aussie tow rigs dragging 3-ton vans through 40-degree bush country. We're asking these little 4-bangers and downsized 6s to do the job the old naturally aspirated straight 6s used to handle. Lighter, cleaner, more efficient. And when you push physics that hard, something's going to give. Sometimes it's a sprocket, sometimes it's software, sometimes it's a filter that was never going to survive the school run in Frankston in July. The uncomfortable truth is this isn't one brand stuff up. It's the whole industry running the same gamble at the same time, and we're the ones behind the wheel. So here's what I want you to do before you close this tab. Go grab your Rego papers or open your car app, and in the next tab, punch your VIN into the government's vehicle recalls website, vehiclerecalls.gov.au. Takes about 30 seconds. Costs you nothing. It'll tell you straight up whether your ute or wagon or family SUV is on any of these lists. Because the bloke I mentioned at the start, the one on the highway with the caravan, he didn't know. Ford was still trying to reach him through Australia Post. Don't be him. If your ride is affected, book it in. If it's not, share this video with the mate you know who owns a Ranger, a HiLux, a D-Max, a Tucson. Odds are one of them is behind the wheel of a car the manufacturer already knows is crook and they haven't managed to reach him yet. The turbo engine reshaped how Australia drives. It made towing easy, made fuel go further, made the ute the default family car. But this current generation of them is going through growing pains the size of Uluru. And the only way we get through it clean is if owners actually know what they're driving. So check your car, tell your mates, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss the next brand joining this list, because one absolutely will, and I'll be the first to break it down for you. Drive safe out there.